Did you know that immigrants used to have to try and convince the US courts that they were white in order to become citizens? This was the reality just 80 years ago. Here's a rundown on the history of race, religion, and the entanglement of the two in US laws on naturalization, the process by which an immigrant becomes a citizen. The nation's first Naturalization Act in 1790 declared that only free white persons could become citizens of the United States. But the word white here kind of just meant from Northwestern Europe. And it's no accident that the people who got called white were from largely Protestant nations. Historically, Protestant identities often got racialized as white, while non-Protestant and especially non-Christian identities often got racialized as not white. Fast forward to 1870, and Congress passes a new Naturalization Act, which decrees that immigrants of African descent can join those deemed white and be naturalized. But immigrants who are Chinese, here just meaning of East Asian descent, cannot be naturalized. In 1923, the Supreme Court denied citizenship to Bhagat Singh Thind, an immigrant from India's Punjab region and practicing Sikh who had served the US in World War I. And the reason the Supreme Court gave for denying this veteran citizenship was that he was a Hindu, and Hindus were not white. And a decade earlier, in 1914, a district court ruled that George Dow, a Lebanese Christian in the Maronite Church, look it up, could not be naturalized because he was Syrian, not white. Now, the U.S. Court of Appeals ended up overturning that ruling and granting Dow citizenship, at least in part, it seems, due to his Christian identity. And we can posit this because in 1942, a district court denied citizenship to a Muslim immigrant from Yemen on the grounds that, quote, Arabs are not white persons, and apart from the dark skin of the Arabs, it is well known that they are part of the Mohammedan world, and that a wide gulf separates their culture from that of the predominantly Christian peoples of Europe. End quote. Again, here, note the racialization of religion. It wasn't until 1944 that Arab Muslims were allowed to naturalize, when the District Court of Massachusetts declared that, and I'm not making this up, quote, the Arab passes muster as a white person, end quote. Racial discrimination in U.S. naturalization law was not banned until the McCarran-Walter Act of 1952, just 73 years ago. The lesson here is that white supremacy and Christian supremacy run deep, not just in U.S. culture, but in U.S. law, which means that you and I need to work hard to prevent others, including our federal government, from further strengthening this still living legacy of white Christian nationalism.